As 2025 begins, we thought it'd be fun to give you a glimpse into what cards are on our radar going into the new year, what trips we already have planned, and what trips we're thinking about adding to our schedule. Listen up to hear what you can expect from us in 2025. Welcome to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Hey, I'm Alex.
And I'm Pam, Alex's mom.
And I'm Jess. Let's talk points. Today, we are talking all about 2025, including the plans that we've already made and the ones that we are considering. We tend to book pretty far in advance to secure award availability. So we have trips booked well into 2025 already. But first, let's start with the cards that are currently on our radar for 2025. So I'm going to kick it off. In the 2024 episode, talked about how I had recently opened the Capital One Spark Cash Plus business card. That is the one that has the currently 200,000 point welcome offer. It's technically $2,000 cash back. If you have a venture or a venture X, you can convert that cash back into points. And so I really want to get that card for Ted also. We have to wait until it's been a full year since he had the Venture X business to be able to close that card, wait 30 days, and then try to open the Spark Cash Plus for him. I don't know if this offer is still going to be around by the time I think February is his 1 year since he got the Venture X business. And so I'm going to basically close it as soon as I can, get that 30-day clock ticking, and hope that this $2,000 cash back offer is still available. If it is, that will be his first card of 2025. And then I got a targeted mailer for the Alaska Airlines personal card for 80,000 miles. That offer expires, I think my mailer said end of February. And so I'm kind of torn because that would put me at 524, but I dropped below 524 in April. And so I'm kind of like, yeah, probably would be worth 2 months at 524 to get 80,000 Alaska miles. Alaska miles are super valuable for me for using on that's what we're using to go to Japan. So I could use them for Japan Airlines. I could use them to get to Australia. And so Alaska Airlines miles are really valuable, and there's not a ton of ways to get them other than the co-branded cards. And so that one is definitely on my radar. Probably will be my first card of 2025. And then in, I believe, July, I will be eligible for another Chase Sapphire Preferred. This will be my third Chase Sapphire Preferred ever. So I'm excited about that. July will be 48 months since I got the welcome offer on my last one. And so I have it on my radar to downgrade my current one at some point in 2025 and reapply for a third one. So Alex, what about you?
That's crazy. Going to be on your third. Nice.
Well, when I got my second, that was before the 48-month rule was in effect.
Yeah.
And so it hasn't been 12 years since I got my first one. I just happened to get around that 48-month rule with my second one.
Yeah. Nice. Well, like Ted, you aka Ted, my first card for me, I'm looking to do the same thing with the Spark ones or the Capital One Spark Cash Plus card. So same idea. I think my annual fee is coming up in the next 20 days or so. So it's really close for me to start canceling that card. So yeah, I'm with you, crossing my fingers that we have at least another month and a half of this offer. And then Mitch doesn't have the Venture X card. So that's one that's on my radar for him. He has the Venture X business and the Venture personal, but not the Venture X. So I'd like to get that one for him at some point. And then kind of an interesting one is the Citi AAdvantage business card. Mitch opened that. Well, I opened that card for Mitch. I think it was November, towards the end of November. And there's we heard about this online. I'm going to give it a try. Don't know if it's going to work, but basically with the Citi AA cards, you can get the bonus on them once every 48 months. And then they also have a one application every 90 days rule. And so between those two rules, it makes it kind of tricky to get another card with them for a little bit. But there's reports that you can kind of use those rules to your advantage, if you will. So with the Citi AA business card, the timeline to hit the minimum spend is 6 months.
5 months.
5 months. I knew it was either yeah, it's not 3. That's the whole point of how this can work. So I had to write some notes down for this because I'm just like learning this trick as I go. But basically, you have to spend $5,000 within 5 months. And because of that 148 rule, the 190-day rule, you can use those to kind of work around it. So the idea is you apply for the Citi AA business card, which we already did. We got approved. Do not meet the minimum spend till, towards the end of that spend. You don't want to meet it in the first 30 days because once the 48-month rule takes place based off of when you earned the welcome offer. So basically, day 91 through 99, from the date that I opened that first AA business card, I'd open a second one for Mitch. And the idea here too is you use a different business name. So we'll see if this works. It's kind of a little trick to circumvent, use their rules towards your favor, if you will. Don't know if this is going to work, but I think in the name of research, I want to give this a try and see what happens. So I will report back if it did work.
I'm actually planning to do this for Ted also. So I got him the AA business card November 1st, I believe. And so I'm going to count 90. On the 91st day, I've hit I think we've spent $4,500 on that card and now I've kind of sock drawered it. So I'm not going to spend that last 500 until I attempt to get him a second one. So we'll see if it works. But I mean, if we could
Yeah.
get two AA,
Yeah.
AA miles are like Alaska miles. They're really hard to earn because none of the banks transfer to AA, none of the banks transfer to Alaska. And so any little tricks we can use to score some extra miles from these banks, we're going to try. So I should know by the first week of February whether
So
it
you'll
works or
know
not.
before me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we will report back. And I understand this whole thing might sound a little confusing. And if it does, that's perfectly normal. If it works, we will give a more thorough explanation. I'm sure Jess will post about it in the Facebook group. She's really good about sharing those types of things there. She did the same thing with the Capital One Spark Cash Plus. She shared her story there about that approval. So if you're not in our Facebook group, make sure you join so you don't miss out when Jess spills the beans on how that all went. What
All
about
right.
you, Mom?
Okay, well, looks like it's a 3 for 3er on trying all of us going for the Capital One Spark Cash Plus. Spoiler alert, I couldn't help myself and I applied for it last night. So really, sometimes I just get this, I know I'm going to do something. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do this.
We've learned you have no chill.
What am I called?
QSP.
Quick start, Pam. I have no chill whatsoever at all. So I followed a guide that we have since post from Jess about how to apply for it. But after listening to you, I think I know a big thing that I did wrong. I did not wait a full 30 days in between canceling my Venture X business. So is that really important, Jess?
I think it is because you can't hold both. And so you
Right.
have to give it 30 days for the Venture X to kind of fall off their system. It's the same with Chase.
Yeah.
If you cancel a Chase card and you want to reapply for it, we
Except,
recommend
yes, they did offer me in that the
another card,
Mark's
like a Spark.
Plastic, which was a business. So I think it didn't show. I think I just had frozen the wrong account credit.
Okay. I think Alex, we can link to that blog post in the show notes. Because that kind of walks step by step through my process. Because it took three tries
Right.
for me to get approved for that card. So you still got 2 more until you caught up to me, Pam.
I'm still going for it.
But Jess is out there doing the work for all of us so that you don't have to go through it 3 times.
Exactly. So anyway, hopefully I don't have to go through it twice. So then my husband and I, both of us will hit that 48 month mark for the Chase Sapphire Preferred. So for both of us, we will be canceling those and applying again. And so I'm excited about that. 48 months is a long time. So
That is a long time. It's time for me to get a new one too. And one thing I want to add in about these lists of cards that I said I would get, those could all very well change. if there's some limited time welcome offers, especially from Chase.
Right.
Like, it's been a little while since I applied for an Ultimate Rewards earning card. And so if there's an offer in the new year where one comes out, I'm going to be applying for one of those instead. So we'll see kind of how things shake up with the new year and new limited time offers.
Exactly. Those things can change. But what won't change is the points and miles trips that we've already booked for 2025. We are on the ball. I look at this list and I go, whoa, it hasn't started. And we have like each about 10 trips planned. So Jess, start it off and tell us where you're going in 2025.
All right, here's what I have booked so far. It's actually a lot. I don't know how much more I'll add to this.
Hold on. I just love this. Jess is every year. I'm just not going to travel as much. This is going to be a chill year. This is going to be a chill year for me. And then she says, "Oh, like this is already kind of a lot." So
It doesn't look chill, the list
Jess has no chill either.
I'm trying to scale back in 2025. And I say this as we're recording this in December, and my December is absolutely nuts. And so I'm trying to remind myself, like, please don't get back to this spot of crazy trips and like take it easy. So here's what I have so far. For my birthday in February, my husband and I are going to San Miguel de Allende in Mexico. Super excited about that. The cutest little colonial town. We are staying at a Hyatt Numu boutique hotel. I think it's part of the Unbound collection. So check that out. Report back. None of us have ever been there before. And then in February, headed back to the Andas Papagayo in Costa Rica for the third time because I am obsessed with this hotel and cannot stop going back there every year. Spring break, we are headed to Japan. Me, Ted, Molly, and Ella, all four of us flying there and back in business class on Japan Airlines, booked via AA. Really excited to report back on that. For in the spring, I currently have Grand Hyatt Scottsdale booked. So this is the one that used to be the Hyatt Regency Scottsdale. It has since rebranded, like $100 million renovation. So I'm really excited to check that out. So we have that booked for a few nights this spring. And then Team TMS is taking Spain later in the spring. We have Madrid and Barcelona booked. And so I have never been to Spain. Alex, have you?
No, I've never been.
Okay. Pam has been to
I have
Spain because Pam has been everywhere, but Alex and I have not been to Spain. And so we are going to experience Madrid and Barcelona and share all of that with you all. In May, Ella and I are going to Bora Bora. She actually babysat Molly while Ted and I went last year, and I was sending her pictures and videos, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to go to this place." And I was like, "I'll go back. I'll take you." And so I am returning to the Conrad Bora Bora, and I'm bringing Ella with me and possibly Olivia this time. Summer, we have Iceland and Ireland. First time in both of those countries. So really excited about that. And then we are also going to Maui for a week, staying the Grand Wailea and the Andaz Maui. So super excited to go back to Maui. Ted's never been to Maui. And so, Molly and I get to bring him along to Maui with us this time. And then I don't have anything booked for August yet. I might just leave August as like
You
my
won't leave. You won't leave it
Right.
open. There will be something in August, especially because it's so hot and humid in Houston. You'll be like,
I
"Get me out
know.
of here."
I need to escape. School starts really early for us. Like Molly goes back to school the first week of August.
Oh,
And
wow.
so I might have to take a trip I might go to Salt Lake. I could go visit
Come
Alex.
back to the Payne Regency.
And then in September, I'm headed back to the Park Hyatt, New York, doing a little Taylor Swift getaway to go to all the restaurants and like Electric Lady Studios where she records and staying at the Park Hyatt while I'm at it. So
My
really,
favorite thing about this is I swear like an episode or two ago, you were like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna have like any more Taylor content now that all her shows are over." And here you are again. I'm going to a New York planned Taylor Swift, seeing all the Taylor Swift sites in New York City.
well, I love New York. I love the Park Hyatt, New York, and I love Taylor. And so I'm trying to fill this void now that the Eras tour is over, get some of
Yep.
that out of my system. So don't worry if you're not a Swiftie, I'll still have other like Park Hyatt and New York content. But if you are a Swiftie, then you're gonna want to keep an eye out for that one. And then in October, I am going to Portugal with some girlfriends for a little girls trip. And then in December, I don't have anything in November either so far, but December, we always go on our little Travel Mom Squad year-end retreat. And so we have that booked for Cabo for December. So that is it for me. What about you, Alex?
That's it? No, just kidding. Okay, so to start off, we always go to St. George for a soccer tournament in February. I use my hotel free night certificates for those hotel stays. That's always a fun one. Even though it's not like some big extravagant trip, it's just really fun watching the kids play soccer again. It's usually a bit warmer down there. And so it's just a nice kind of escape. In March, my mom and I are going to the Kimpton Rowaton. She has been there. I have not. She texted me one day and was like, "Hey, I'm going to take each of the girls on a solo trip. Do you want to go to Kimpton Rowaton? I have all these IHG points." And I'm like, "Yes, I am there." So super excited about that one because she loved it. And I love the Kimpton Seafire. And she's like, "They're both amazing. You're going to love it." So I'm really excited to try that out. For spring break, we're going to Costa Rica with the whole family, and my parents are coming along. We haven't been there yet, and so I'm super excited about that. I know my mom's been there. We're staying at the Andaz Papagayo, and then we're headed to Tabacon, where I used some Hilton free night certificates to stay there. As Jess said, we're going to Spain. Super excited about that, and we are also going to Maui as well, but I think we're going before Jess. So just as soon as school ends, we're going. I actually did a timeshare deal where we have to go to the timeshare presentation. We're staying at the Westin Nanea. And so, yeah, we'll do the 90-minute presentation. We got a discounted stay, but because of it, I'll share all about that because it's kind of a nice option we'll see if it's a nice option. I don't know for sure. My husband and I have done this one other time. We did a Marriott Newport Coast Villas years ago, and it was great then. So we shall see. I feel pretty comfortable doing a timeshare presentation with a reputable brand like Marriott. They're not gonna it's not anything sketchy where sometimes you have to be like, am I really gonna get what they promised me I'm gonna get? Or are they gonna keep me here for 3 hours? It's like, no. With them, it's like you're there 90 minutes. We say, all right, we gotta go. We've got some kids we gotta get back to. So I'll report back on how that goes. And then we also have a couple days booked at the Andaz Maui. And my parents are also coming along for that one. And then my husband and I are going to the Hilton Conrad Bora Bora in June. And then I don't have anything booked from June to December. So we're in the works, planning a girls' trip with my mom and my sisters to Morocco. So that'll be sometime probably in September. But we have nothing booked yet. So working on that. Then in December, my mom and I are going to take my second youngest. He turns 10 in the next January. So January 2026 is his birthday. But every time one of my kids turns 10, my mom and I take them on a trip. We decided we're going to take him to New York City, and we're going to go a little bit before his birthday so we can see all of the holiday sites there in New York. So we're also staying at the Park Hyatt. I actually didn't book it. I think I meant to book it yesterday, and then I was wanting to use a suite upgrade order, but there were no suites available. So I was like, I'll just do this later. So I'm going to go ahead and book it, and then I set an alert on Open Hotel Alert for the standard suite, and I would be shocked if between now and basically a whole year away, if the suite doesn't open up. So super excited to go back to New York. I've never been in New York during the holidays, so that'll be really fun. And then, like Jess said, Park Hyatt Los Cabos for our retreat. So that's it. I've got some work to do for the fall, but man, I'm feeling pretty good about that year. I'm excited about it.
Okay, it's on to me. As you know, some of mine will be the same as Alex because we hijack on their trips. We love to go with them. I also have the trip with her planned, but I don't have a trip with my other two daughters planned out. I do have a potential one that I'll get to with my daughter that lives in London.
I
So
was going to say 2 daughters. You have 3 daughters.
yeah,
I didn't realize you already had one kind of planned with
yeah,
Lindsay yet.
yeah. So we are going just right after Christmas to the Hyatt Regency Maui. Her kids are getting this as part of their Christmas gift. I almost spoiled it for them when I talked to them the other day. So I can't talk to them until after Christmas because I get so excited about it. I said, "Oh, are you so excited to go to Hawaii? We can't wait." And Alex gave me the death stare. So anyway, so I'm
I was
not
like,
talking
"Yeah,
to
we're
him.
so excited to go to Hawaii in May," because
Yeah.
that's when we have that other trip booked.
Yeah.
So
So
luckily we had another trip to Hawaii booked so I could, like, play that off.
yeah, grandma gets too excited sometimes. Going back to the Kimpton Roatan, this is really a lovely hotel. I am going after that in March. My husband and I and my daughter Casey and her husband are going to Thailand. Going to use some Hilton points at the Conrad Koh Samui and then moving over to the Ritz and using some Marriott points, and then we're going to Krabi. So I'm really excited about that. I've been to Thailand once. Love, love, love Thailand. The people are so kind. The massages are amazing and cheap. And it is one of my favorite places. And so I've been really wanting to go back there. Like Alex said, we're going back to Costa Rica. There are all three of us are spending time at the Ondas Papagayo and at the Conrad Bora Bora. So you can definitely see some themes here because well, Alex hasn't been to the Conrad. Oh, yeah, you have been. You went with me to the
I
Conrad.
went with
So
you.
you see some themes that, one of us talks about how much we love something. We get the FOMO and we're there and then we love it. So we go back. We are all going to Spain, but the trip that I may add on afterwards is with my daughter, Lindsay. We're trying to work on her flying over, and it's going to Mallorca. Mallorca is a place that's supposed to be incredibly beautiful, and it's a place I've wanted to go for a long time. Going with Alex and her family to Maui. I haven't stayed at the Ondas Maui before, but I'm really excited about that. We did spend the day with friends when they were there, and after Jess's glowing review about it, I'm really excited to go there. Going back to Bora Bora with my sister. Then my husband and I have this crazy trip. It's like a 3.5 week trip. It is a tour. So we're not using a lot of it on point somewhere else, but we are some. We're going to India, Kathmandu, Nepal, Bhutan. It is going to be insane. So we're paying for the tour part, but we are flying business class over and back on Q Suites to Delhi. We will also be we get there, I think, a day early and leave a day later. So we'll be using points to stay at a hotel there. I haven't booked that part yet or looked, but I'm sure I'll be able to find hopefully a nice Hyatt or a Marriott or an IHG. In the works are a trip, as we talked about, our annual mom sisters trip, trying to plan out Morocco. My sister and I are trying to plan out one other trip, and I think we want to do Scandinavia. So we're looking at Norway and Sweden, possibly a couple days in Copenhagen. I've been there before and loved it. Then I get to return to the Park Hyatt, New York City. Super looking forward to this. New York City at Christmas time is magical. A little too cold for me, but magical. And then I booked, but I think I have to change my dates for this one. I booked already the Kimpton Tres Rios, which is a brand new Kimpton, all inclusive. And I booked that. I think it's in the Playa del Carmen area, but I don't think it's going to work out with my Park Hyatt New York City and then my Park Hyatt Los Cabos. So I'm going to rebook that. Then I have a couple ideas. I'd like to go maybe to the Park Hyatt St. Kitts, or maybe there's a hotel I think it's St. Martin, somewhere in the Caribbean. So I have a couple other things up my sleeve, but it's lining up to be a very busy 2025. So we've told you about all these amazing places we're going to go, all made possible by points and miles. Blows my mind that we can even think of going to this many places because we could never afford it. But what is the trip that you guys are looking most forward to in 2025?
Mine is Iceland and Ireland just because I love going somewhere new. I've never been to either country, and so I'm just excited to go explore some new destinations with the fam. What about you, Alex?
I'm actually really excited for a lot of them. Like, I haven't been to Honduras, I haven't been to Costa Rica, I haven't been to Spain. So I'm really excited to see some new countries. Obviously, Morocco, never been there, so excited for that. But I'm also just really excited to stay in some really fancy hotels. That, like, just brings me a lot of joy. So I remember seeing the videos of the Kimpton Roton and it looks so nice. Andaz Maui has been on my list for forever to try. And then, I mean, you never can go wrong with a Park Hyatt. But I'd say I'm most excited for the Costa Rica trip because I just love taking my kids new places, and that'll be a really fun, exciting one. I want to book some fun excursions there, like zip lining and, try a couple other different things that we've never done. And then really looking forward to Bora Bora to take my husband there because we loved Maldives. And so I'm interested to hear kind of like, when I went, I like Maldives the most, but I'm interested to see what he thinks and what's his favorite. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to all of it, but especially Costa Rica and Bora Bora. What about you, Mom?
Well, I'm looking forward to all of it, especially the time that I get to spend with family, which is primarily most of the time that I go on trips. But I'm really looking forward to going to India. I don't think you can even get into Bhutan if you don't go through this company or certain companies. So I'm super excited. It isn't a place that I would ever want to go by myself. There are certain places where I really have enjoyed going on a tour and using points and miles to supplement the tour with the flights or with extra hotels. India is one of those places. I'm not going to go to India. I'm not planning that trip out and doing that. I'm not, we are actually taking a plane and flying over Mount Everest. It is going to be really an epic trip. And then I'm so excited to go back to Thailand. I just is one of my favorite places. And so I'm looking forward to that. So the next thing we're going to talk about is points and miles trips that you're thinking of booking for 2025. And I won't even do that. I already talked about that. I jumped the gun. I talked about everything I was already thinking about when I was talking about what I booked. So, but Jess and Alex, tell us about some of the trips you're thinking of booking besides the one you've already booked.
Think I mentioned on a previous episode that my mom really wants to go to the Czech Republic after seeing my videos of the Andaz Prague and the cute little towns that we went to. And so that is on my radar. I'm kind of hoping that like Thrifty Traveler just sends out an alert. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. If we go, it'll be during shoulder season, which I don't feel, and there will just be two of us. And so that's something where, like, I don't feel the urgency to book it super far in advance because there tends to be more availability in September, October to go to Europe. And so I kind of have that in the back of my head to be on the lookout for deals to Europe or the Czech Republic if I can find them. Molly has a fall break in October. I don't have anything planned for that yet. I was thinking like it'd be fun to go leaf peeping in like New England, but then I was like, would a child enjoy that or would that be more for me? And so I don't have anything planned for her fall break yet, but again, it'll be October. And so a little bit easier to find availability. And then the last thing is our whole family of 6 typically goes on a trip after Christmas, like around New Year's. And so, like this year, we're going to Kauai. Next year, we've talked about going to the Galapagos. And so, I really hope that that works out. I have never been to South America. And so, there's a direct flight from Houston to Quito on United. And so, we're kind of keeping an eye out for that. And then from there, we would fly to the Galapagos. Ella has actually been and she is obsessed with it. And she was like, we have to go, we have to go. And so I was like, okay, maybe I looked it up and it said December and January is the best time to go to the Galapagos. And so I was like, well, that would be a perfect time for all 6 of us to go. So that's currently on my radar, but I cannot book anything for it yet. What about you, Alex?
Okay, so like I said, in the process of booking Morocco with my mom and my sisters, I need to plan something for fall break as well. I have no idea what we will do. I think it kind of depends on what my kids have going on during that time of year. One of my kids wants to play football next year. And so that could get in the way of like a more extravagant fall break, but we'll see. I really don't know. That'll just probably be like more of a last minute type planning. And then yeah, I gotta figure out what we're gonna do for next Christmas. I think I've been talking to my sister and my mom a bit about it. We might try to go to Mexico and invite all of my siblings, all of everybody, whoever wants to come, and hopefully have a really fun, exciting, post Christmas trip with everybody. That'd be like a dream come true for my kids to go with all their cousins to somewhere like Mexico. So that's it. I definitely have some more things I want to plan. I would like to maybe plan a weekend getaway somewhere like the Thompson Los Cabos or the Thompson Palm Springs. Both of those are ones I'd like to try with just like my husband and I. And then,
By the Thompson Los Cabos, she means the Cape.
yes,
People may
thank
not
you.
know. People may not know. They may,
As soon
there's
as
a
I said that, I was like, I don't think I'm saying, I was like, I know it's a Thompson, but yes, Thompson the Cape. So I'd like to try something like that. I do have some Hilton free night certificates. I have 3 of them that I have to use before like September or something. So I will have to plan something where I use those. So stay tuned for that. So we'll see.
All right. Well, like Pam said, she already covered her trips in the work. So now we're just going to wrap it up by talking about our points and miles goals for 2025. So this is just from welcome offers. This is not including any points and miles from referrals or from spend on our cards. So I had 1.5 billion as my goal. And then I was like, maybe that's too lofty. So I changed it to between 1 million and 1.5 million. I'm very confident I can hit 1 million, but 1.5 might be pushing it. So I'm going to just say between 1 and 1.5 million. What about you, Alex?
I said the same thing. I think this year I did like over 1.6, but it was kind of a big year with some really, really great welcome offers. I'm really hopeful that 2025 will bring out some really awesome welcome offers as well, though. So we'll see. But yeah, at least 1 million, 1.5 would be great.
So for me, I'm actually going down a little bit just because I have a lot of points and miles, so I don't need to push it so hard. So my goal is about 1 million. And so I'm hoping to do that. It definitely would help if I could get a lot of those American Express bonuses, welcome offers again. But I've hit American Express hard in the past. So, I'm probably getting pretty close to that 7-year lifetime,
Yeah.
you know, deal on some of them. So, next year, the next or the year after, I'll probably be able to get some more. So, but I'm going to bring it down a little bit, make it more achievable. But who knows? This year surprised me. I thought I wouldn't make 1 million and I made almost 1.5 million. You never know. So that we hope y'all enjoyed getting a sneak peek into what we've got planned for 2025. And if you're ready to make 2025 the year of nearly free travel for you and your family, make sure to register for our free masterclass, How to Get Your Next Vacation for Nearly Free. We're going to link it in the show notes. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for listening to Points Talk with the Travel Mom Squad. Make sure to hit the subscribe or follow button from wherever you're listening so you never miss an episode. Want to start jet setting even faster? Follow the links in the show notes to learn about everything we discussed in today's episode. And to stay connected and follow along, follow us on Instagram at Travel Mom Squad. We can't wait to see where in the world points and miles take you.